Right now at 7, President Trump prepares to deliver his State of the Union address tonight. A look at why this speech comes at such a critical time in his presidency. And sick of snow and freezing temps? Well, it's not too late to plan a spring escape, and there are still deals out there without breaking the bank. And you've probably heard the saying, laughter is the best medicine, right? Well, after the break, how a comedy show is helping bring the community together for a great cause.
We got some warmer temperatures and some very gusty winds, leaving us the possibility for fire danger. We'll talk more about that coming up in your forecast. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez has the morning off. Thank you so much for joining us on CBS 19 Plus. Well, sometimes you just need a good laugh, right? Well, it has many health benefits. We know that. Your laughter can help out a good cause this week. This Thursday, a comedy show is rolling into town to help shed light on a very important topic. We're talking about mental health. And Samantha McGaw, Executive Director of the Social Works Advocacy Group, is joining us live this morning. Thanks for staying with us.
Yes, of course, of course.
First, tell us a little bit about your group, Social Works.
Yes.
You haven't been around that long, but tell us about what you do and how you help East Texans.
Absolutely. So we have a program called Mental Health Navigation, and what we do is individuals come into our office, they lay down their burdens, and we help them find a provider or a service that fits their insurance, their financial need, whatever that looks like for them. We guide them along that process. We provide support, so we're checking in after the appointments. We're helping with medication costs up to a year, and that's all at no cost to anyone in the public that comes to us.
Why is it so hard to find yourself through that mental health care system? I mean, it's part of our health, but why is that part so hard?
I think there's two main factors. One, we're under distress. Things are very difficult when you're having distress, mental distress. And two, the access in the area is very difficult. Studies and the numbers show that we're last in access in mental health in the entire country. So we don't have the providers, we don't have the access to get to them, we don't have the transportation, the funds, the insurance, blah, 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 all the things, right?
Yeah, I've heard it's very difficult to get appointments.
Yeah.
So it's all the things to try to navigate.
Yeah, so we take that pressure off. We say, hey, come in, tell me what you need. Okay, go away, we'll find it, we'll get the appointment, we'll follow up.
But that takes money.
It does, yeah. Well, our services don't, but you do have to have insurance or be able to pay in some way.
But for you to help them, it takes money
yes,
for you guys
absolutely.
to operate, which is why they're doing a really cool thing this week.
Yeah.
We're talking about healing, laughter through healing. Tell us about this.
This is our 4th time doing this event. It's my favorite event to do, and we are fundraising at this. So it is a silent auction. It is a clean comedy show we're having at Rose City Comedy this Thursday at 7 o'clock, and you can get tickets. They are $25, and then we have can't make it tickets for $15 as well.
So if you can't make it out there, all you got to do is just buy a ticket. So tell us about some of the comedians that are going to be there helping people laugh to heal.
Yes, we actually have 4 comedians lined up. We have Ed Moore will start the show, I believe. We have Kenny Lee, Trey Mack, and then Harold Keaton is the 4 comedians that we have. And they've been doing it either for a short amount of time or a long amount of time. So you'll see a lot of variety with their styles and the comedians.
Why do you think it's important to get together and then make mental health the focus of this comedy show?
I think that it's so stigmatized, and if it's not unstigmatized in the correct way. Right. We might take a survey and say, oh, I have ADHD, when we have to have actual constructive feedback and resources on that. And so this is a good way to say, hey, we have this available. Just come have a good time, and we'll slip you some information about our services. We'll slip you some information about mental health.
How many people have you been able to help in our community since you started?
Specifically with mental health navigation, we've helped over 200 individuals find a provider or get support, and we've helped way more with our community education services that we do and our resources we do at community events.
So what are some other programs that you offer beyond this?
Yeah, we actually have our educational workshops. We go into communities like the churches or schools, and we'll talk about mental health in a really good light and what that looks like and how it's possible to cope with it and discuss it in the Family Matters. And we also have empathy and awareness workshops where we teach providers and business people people how to have empathy and reflect on the clients that they service.
So many good resources that they're providing. So tell us, how do you get tickets and when is the event?
The event is this Thursday. Doors open at 6:30 and the event starts at 7. You can get tickets on our website, swadvocacy.org, or search Rose City Comedy. If you search them up, go to their website. Our link is on there as well.
And they're on Old Jacksonville.
Yeah, they're on Old Jacksonville. So just show up. You don't have to get them ahead. Just show up and
buy a
get them
ticket.
there. Yes.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us and helping us raise awareness for mental health.
Thank you for
Appreciate
allowing
it.
me.
All right. Let's get her.
Yeah, today is a weather impact alert day. We have gusty winds. It is very dry, so any sort of fires that do start for today will spread very rapidly under these conditions. So the best thing to do is just to not burn anything altogether. If you have a cigarette, don't just throw it out the window. Dispose of it properly. Fires can easily spread in this kind of weather. It will be very gusty for this afternoon, and so much so we do have wind advisories in effect for parts of the area starting at noon today, and I'll go until 6 o'clock. That's going to include areas like Tyler, Longview, Gilmer, Athens up to Canton, further to the northwest, including the Dallas metro area. That's going to go from, again, noon today till 6 o'clock. We're expecting wind gusts between 35 and occasionally up to about 40 miles per hour. And the sustained winds themselves will be between 10 and 20, so already pretty windy by itself. Beautiful clear skies on our Tyler cam looking south on Broadway. Absolutely gorgeous skies out there. It is very cold, so despite those clear skies, don't be deceived. It is very cold out there. We're down to 26 right now in Nacogdoches, 27 in Center, 35 in Tyler, also 31 in Mineola. Definitely bundle up on your way out. It is jacket weather for sure. But you can take those jackets off by this afternoon. It's going to be a completely different story. We're up to 70 degrees by 2 o'clock. We'll continue to climb from there into around the 72-degree mark. We'll have a couple of clouds, but otherwise it's going to be a very beautiful day, very gusty though. Into tomorrow as well, same kind of story, but just a little bit warmer. We'll be up to about 70 or 82 degrees, and then 80s will continue into Thursday with a small chance of rain. How long will the winds last? How long will this fire danger last? Well, you can find out coming up in your full forecast.
Thank you, Joel. And as that wildfire danger in East Texas ramps up that Joel's been telling us about this morning, there is some encouraging news about those wildfires that swept across the Texas Panhandle. The Texas A&M Forest Service says the lavender fire near Pampa, which is northwest of Amarillo, is 100% contained. Smith County ESD2 crews, part of Strike Team 129, were deployed to that fire. Officials say it burned more than 12,000 acres. Local leaders say they are proud of the crews who answered the call, and they're looking forward to welcoming them home. Well, much of the Northeast is digging out after a powerful bomb cyclone hit the area, dumping historic levels of snow on states from Delaware to Maine. Look at all that snow. In New York City, nearly 20 inches of snow fell in Central Park, making it the Big Apple's biggest snowstorm in a decade. In Boston, snow fell as rapidly as 2 to 3 inches an hour. Winds reached 60 miles an hour, creating whiteout conditions. A former Houston County jailer is behind bars after an investigation into a possible relationship with an inmate. The sheriff says they began investigating last February. The employee was fired once the allegations were confirmed, and the Texas Rangers were called in to take over that criminal investigation. Yesterday, the former jailer was booked into the Houston County Jail, charged with improper sexual activity with a person in custody, a second-degree felony. A Hawkins mother says her 2 young sons were targeted by a substitute teacher who made what she calls racially inappropriate comments in their classroom. Lakeisha Batiste says the situation turned emotional at home after her sons described what allegedly happened in class earlier this month at Hawkins Elementary. Now, she claims the boys were singled out by a substitute teacher because of their race. Batiste says she contacted school officials, later reaching out to the NAACP Tyler branch for support.
And he said, well, my PE teacher called me a monkey. And then that's when my first grader, King, turned around and said, well, he called me King Kong. And that's when my heart broke. You know, be aware of what's going on and talk to your children, you know, to make sure they're not being bullied, they're okay with their class, they're comfortable with going to school, first and foremost, you know.
We reached out to Hawkins ISD about the allegations. In a statement, the district says, quote, consistent with student privacy laws and district policy, we're unable to discuss specific details involving students or personnel matters. However, Hawkins ISD remains fully committed to providing a safe, respectful, and supportive learning environment for all students. Batiste says she has since pulled her sons from the district as the investigation continues. Election Day is exactly 1 week away. The push toward the March 3rd primary is intensifying. Candidates are crisscrossing Texas to lock in support as early voting continues. Democratic U.S. Senate candidate James Tallarico is bringing his Take Back Texas tour to Tyler today. Tallarico is facing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in the Democratic primary, a race that's gaining attention statewide as both candidates ramp up campaign stops, messaging, and voter outreach efforts. Today's rally set for 6 p.m. at Eagles Event Center on Old Henderson Highway as the fight for the party nomination heads into its final stretch. Texas Governor Greg Abbott made a stop in Athens yesterday for a Get Out the Vote rally. The event at Tijuanita's Fish Camp drew supporters and local leaders, including State Representative Cody Harris, all urging East Texans to head to the polls. Along with turnout, both men touched on key issues, including property tax relief, border security, education policy, and protecting East Texans' groundwater. But the main focus was all about your ballots.
Remember, speeches don't win elections. Campaign ads don't win elections. Votes win elections. We're going to have people go out and vote.
Really, the whole point of today is just to get people excited, to help them understand what we're asking them to get out to the polls and vote for.
Abbott will also make a stop in Longview tomorrow. Early voting runs through the end of the week with primary election day set for March the 3rd. Taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where President Trump will deliver his State of the Union speech tonight. He hints that the economy is expected to be a major topic. The speech comes amid growing unease over tariffs, affordability, and a U.S. military buildup near Iran. CBS News' Natalie Brand has a preview for us.
President of the United States.
President Trump is set to tout his accomplishments and lay out his agenda for the year in his State of the Union address less than 9 months before crucial midterm elections.
We have a country that's now doing well. We have the greatest economy we've ever had.
He'll take the podium at a time of increasing uncertainty. Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court dealt a major blow, ruling his Liberation Day tariffs are illegal, even as he doubles down on imposing new tariffs. Despite a stronger than expected January jobs report, consumer confidence has dropped, with a recent CBS News poll showing that many Americans believe the president is too focused on tariffs and not enough on lowering prices. Then there's growing unease that the U.S. could strike Iran, with nuclear talks between the two countries scheduled for later this week. Congressional Democrats are split over attending the president's address. Some are planning to skip it, while others say they want to express their disapproval of the president's policies in person.
I will be defiant in whatever way is appropriate, certainly by silence.
Virginia's first female governor, Abigail Spanberger, a former congresswoman and CIA officer, will deliver the official Democratic response. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Following his speech, President Trump is expected to make a trip to Texas on Friday. Our partners at the Texas Tribune say the president will travel to Corpus Christi. The White House has not yet released an official itinerary. 7:16, time for your morning headlines. Nick Reiner, the youngest son of film director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, pleaded not guilty yesterday in the stabbing deaths of his parents. The couple was found dead in their Los Angeles area home in December. If convicted, Reiner could face the death penalty or life in prison without the possibility of parole. FedEx is suing for a full refund of President Trump's tariffs in the U.S. Court of International Trade. It is the first company to file a tariffs refund lawsuit since the U.S. Supreme Court struck them down as illegal last week. In a statement to CBS News, FedEx said supporting its customers is a top priority, adding that the action was necessary, quote, to protect the company's rights as an importer of record. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The president says a new 15% tariff, though, will go into effect tomorrow on all countries for up to 150 days under a different statute. Well, do you ever feel addicted to social media? Newly released court documents show Facebook employees raised those concerns years ago. They questioned whether features like autoplay and endless scrolling could encourage addictive behavior. The files are part of ongoing lawsuits against Meta. The company says it has since added parental controls and stronger teen safety settings and denies its platforms are designed to be addictive. Spring break is almost here, and if you're still thinking about the perfect getaway, we may have some ideas for you. That's coming up after the break. CBS19 spring break season is around the corner, and if you haven't booked a getaway yet, you've still got time. Jen Sullivan has tips on how to score some hot deals.
Are you tired of the snow and cold weather? It's not too late to book a spring getaway.
There are loads of places that still have availability and places that you can find great deals.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, says if you're looking for somewhere warm, all-inclusive resorts are great for families.
They're a great way to stick to a budget, and you get so much value. Your accommodations, your meals.
Looking for something adventurous like skiing? If you book at a Vail Resort, which are located at various ski towns, you can get $100 or more off per lift ticket if you book at least 4 weeks in advance.
That's a savings of 30%.
Kaufman recommends Keystone Resort for families. There's one located right outside of Breckenridge, Colorado. If you don't want to splurge on a long hotel stay, Kaufman says check out Resort Pass. They sell day passes to hotels and spas at more than 2,500 locations in the U.S., Caribbean, Mexico, and parts of South America. When you're planning your trip, check out the community's Convention and Visitors Bureau because they'll often advertise special deals on local activities. Kaufman says being flexible with your travel dates will help keep down the cost, but that can be tricky when you're tied to the school calendar.
Flights are going to be challenging because it's all about supply and demand.
Kaufman suggests checking alternate airports around your destination city because prices can fluctuate.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
All sounds pretty nice. All right, let's check this out. Broccoli, Brussels, mushrooms. Kids are notoriously picky eaters, but sometimes that changes when we get older. And this morning we want to know, what's a food that you hated as a kid, but you love it now?
Well, you kind of said it, I think it was the first thing you said, broccoli.
Broccoli, you didn't like it.
I didn't like broccoli.
I always liked broccoli. Wasn't a fan of Brussels. Now I'm a huge fan. It's, I think, kind of all in how they're created. And I did see that Beth said cottage cheese. And
well, that's a good one.
I did not like cottage cheese as a child, but I love it now.
Yeah, I will say, too, is salad.
Oh, you didn't like salad?
I didn't like salad as a
Oh,
kid, no. I love salad now. I love chicken Caesar salad. So good.
I like all veggies, and mostly, besides the Brussels, I liked them all as a kid.
Nice.
All righty, let's get to our traffic report for those of you getting ready to head out who haven't made it out yet to take the kids to school or maybe head to work.
Yeah, we're still doing fantastic out there. If you have to head out, you should be in pretty good shape. The winds, they're not too much of an issue right now, but for this afternoon, I think that will definitely be the case. So definitely be very careful as you're heading out. But this morning, not looking bad at all. 2 hours over to Dallas with an hour and 30 minutes over into Shreveport. Very quiet conditions on US 69 as well. 2.5 hours up to Denison with an hour and 30 minutes. Down south into Lufkin, all clear there. We have 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview. We have 45 minutes from Tyler to Athens and 55 minutes from Tyler to Palestine. You are good to go this morning. This weather, well, as far as the rain goes, we are all clear from that. CBS19 live radar is nice and clear overhead, and visibility's not an issue whatsoever. We are going to be nice and clear for the remainder of this morning, and so just enjoy that morning commute. Definitely cold though, 30s and even 20s for this morning. 70s will arrive by this afternoon. Otherwise, road conditions should be a-okay through the rest of the day.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports.
Well, hello and welcome to Sports. I'm Jimmy Searfoss. We're glad you're with us because down in Chapel Hill yesterday, the best team in Fruitvale history tipped off in their first ever regional semifinals. We picked this one up in the third. Fruitvale working from behind. Tough environment. A lot of Sherino purple in Chapel Hill. They came up from Nacogdoches' area. Sherino was moving the ball all over. That's Macy Cook straight cooking. She was an impact player on the court for the Lady Owls. And there's Cook again, finding her woman for the easy bucket on the inbound pass, and guess what? Cook again. Easy lay underneath the basket. She made everything look easy. And even this shot, that's about as far as you can shoot from and still get 2 points. Fruitvale answered, though, nearly immediately. That's Addie Caffey from 3, and the senior kept them in route. And if you ever needed a reason for the shot clock to be in high school ball, this clip was originally a minute long. The Lady Owls played a great game of keep away, just grinding away 60 full seconds off the clock. And then Cook piled one in at the end there. The Lady Owls of Sherino take this one 57-42, but Fruitvale's head coach Brad Gibson was more than proud of his Bobcats.
And hopefully it's just the beginning. I mean, hopefully we get a little bit better every year. But our seniors have been they've just been so great for our program. We're definitely going to miss them. But I got there about midway through their sophomore year. They'd already started district when I got the job, and it was really hard. Taking over a team midway through the year, but I mean they bought in and they did everything I ever asked of them, and now I'll forever be.
Sherino will play the winner of Martins Mill and Harleton on Friday. Well, earlier we got a glimpse of the 5 from Hawkins, and boy, did they put on a show. Cushing getting the shot here and the foul, but don't let it fool you. They were down by a lot. We mentioned it, that these guys are just bigger than everyone else, and when you are, you can do stuff like that. Sophomore Regan Smith with the putback and pointing to let them know. How about the other sophomore, Eli Snyder, 6'3", can't stop putting this one back. This one goes in on the 3rd try. How about the former player of the week, Eli Smith? We know he likes to pass it, especially to the 6'6" freshman, Cameron Gibbons. Easy lay there. Then we had a break in the action after a scuffle involving a player shoving a coach. That guy was ejected from the ball game. Then it was right back to Hawkins running it. Snyder, and it was the Snyder show late, especially right here with this dunk. One-hand jam, baby. This one ends up with a big-time Hawkins win, 98-61. Right after it, Overton taking on Union Grove at Wagstaff. And you know what? Not just CBS 19 was there. ESPN was there, too. They were awesome. Great interview from them, by the way. Check TikTok. Overton getting after it. Ryan Holloman getting loose there under the basket. Jackson Ledbetter, though. This kid was hitting them from 3 all first half. This kid hit at least 4 of them. Holloman getting after it again. Whoops on the first one. Nothing there. Second one, and that's why we believe in second chances here at CBS 19. Christian Hall getting through a rough crowd with this one, showing the physicality, grabbing the mouth afterwards. Then the Stang show. They can shoot it from deep, too. Overton takes this one 47-35. That's all I got for you. We got a lot more action going on later tonight. I'll see you then.
This Black History Month, CBS 19 honors the stories, achievements, and voices that have shaped our community and our nation for generations to come. Join us Thursday, February 26th at 6:30 p.m. and Sunday, March 1st at 7 a.m. on CBS 19. Sponsored by Barksdale Federal Credit Union.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for joining us for this morning news update. As our wildfire danger in East Texas ramps up today, there is some encouraging news, though, out of those wildfires that swept across the Texas Panhandle. The Texas A&M Forest Service says the lavender fire near Pampa, which is northwest of Amarillo, is now 100% contained. Smith County ESD2 crews, part of Strike Team 129, were deployed to that fire. Officials say it burned more than 12,000 acres. Local leaders say they are proud of the crews who answered that call. The East Texas man accused in a deadly Sabine County shooting has been captured after a multi-state manhunt. He's now awaiting extradition back to Texas. The Sabine County Sheriff's Office confirms 36-year-old Todd Stevens was taken into custody in Oklahoma. Investigators say the case began Sunday night in Bronson, where deputies found blood at a home following reports of gunfire. Witnesses told authorities that Stevens shot 43-year-old Cody Thompson and then drove off in Thompson's truck with him still inside. Hours later, a burned vehicle was discovered under a bridge along Interstate 10 in Chambers County. Authorities found human remains. Officials say the vehicle matches Thompson's missing truck, and the injuries are consistent with the shooting. A former Houston County jailer is behind bars after an investigation into a possible relationship with an inmate. The sheriff says they began investigating last February. The employee was fired once the allegations were confirmed, and the Texas Rangers were called in to take over that criminal investigation. Yesterday, the former jailer was booked into the Houston County Jail, charged with improper sexual activity with a person in custody. That's a second-degree felony. And a suspect involved in a struggle with a Tyler police officer is now heading to trial after rejecting a 45-year plea offer. Cheyenne Allen appeared in court yesterday in connection with that October incident outside a hotel on South Broadway. Investigators say Allen refused commands in the parking lot, leading to a chase and physical confrontation. During the fight, officials say that Allen grabbed the officer's holstered weapon. Prosecutors offered Allen 45 years in prison in exchange for a guilty plea, but that was declined. Allen is scheduled to return to court in March. Let's get an update on our fire danger here in East Texas. Joel?
Yeah, all across the area, according to the Texas A&M Forest Service, we have a very high risk for fire danger all across East Texas. We are going to be watching for the winds to really increase through the second half of the morning and will persist all the way through the afternoon. And so that will make any sort of fire that starts to spread very, very easily. So 60s for this afternoon, by the way, will be pretty warm as a result of that warmer breeze coming in from the south. It will also be very bright and sunny. And then 50s to begin your Wednesday. 80s for Wednesday afternoon, those south breezes continuing to hold steady, and then 60s to begin your Thursday. There is a cold front that tries to make its way through, and we'll have a couple of showers in some of our eastern counties. Most everybody will be missing out, and temperatures will continue to stay mild even after that cold front swings through.
Welcome back to Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. In Mexico, more chaos after one of the top cartel leaders was killed. How the impact is not only in Mexico but on American citizens coming up. And a beloved actor with a long legacy has died after a 2-decade struggle with mental illness.
And we have fire danger all across East Texas for today as the winds begin to increase. How long will that last? I'll let you know in your forecast coming up later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good Tuesday morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus has the morning off. So glad you could join us on CBS 19 Plus. A disturbing case involving an adult man wearing a diaper is moving forward in a Smith County court. 47-year-old Wesley Worrell appeared before a judge yesterday. He's charged with solicitation to commit indecency with a child by sexual contact. Investigators say last August, 2 girls were riding bikes near Andy Woods when Worrell allegedly got out of a vehicle wearing only a diaper and asked them to change it. The girls ran and were helped by a nearby family. In court, a pretrial hearing was set for March 16th. Prosecutors say a plea offer has been made, but no agreement has been reached. A suspect involved in a struggle with a Tyler police officer is now heading to trial after rejecting a 45-year plea deal. Cheyenne Allen appeared in court yesterday in connection with an October incident outside a hotel on South Broadway. Investigators say officers responded to a disturbance call when Allen refused commands in the parking lot, leading to a chase and a physical confrontation. Now, during the fight, officials say Allen grabbed the officer's holstered weapon. Prosecutors offered Allen 45 years in prison in exchange for a guilty plea, but that was declined. Allen is scheduled to return to court in March. Mexico is still on edge this morning following the Mexican government operation that killed the cartel kingpin known as El Mencho. The cartel's reaction to that killing turned the streets of various towns into what looked like war zones. Much of the unrest was in tourist hotspots. Amid the violence, the U.S. State Department urged Americans to shelter in place. Reed Binion reports.
We're just going to be patient and support each other and just try to get out of here as soon as we can.
Tourists, including American citizens, stranded in Mexico amid widespread unrest and violence, triggered by the killing of Mexico's most wanted cartel boss.
We were like about an hour from going to the airport. The team here at the hotel was like, hey, you don't want to go right now.
Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes was the leader of the powerful Jalisco New Generation Cartel, a major trafficker of drugs into the U.S. Oseguera, better known as El Mencho, was killed Sunday along with other cartel members in a Mexican military operation, aided by U.S. intelligence. His killing triggered a series of violent incidents.
It really did look and feel like a war zone, that feeling of what does happen next or what could happen next.
Suspected organized crime group members setting buses on fire, blocking off roads and clashing with authorities.
Yesterday was definitely scary. It's like scenes out of a movie.
Several air carriers suspended flights to and from affected cities. Some of those routes continue to be disrupted, while flights to and from other cities are set to resume Tuesday. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department urged American nationals to continue sheltering in place in certain areas as other parts of the country return to normal. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And if you're still worried about people in Mexico that are your family or your friends, know that there are some important resources for you. First, sign up for the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program or tell someone to. And if you're in Mexico and having an emergency, you can call 55-8526-2561. Or if you're in the U.S., you can call 1-844-528-6611. There's also the Department of State Consular Affairs, and Representative Nathaniel Moran has also shared on social media that his office is available to help constituents. That number is 903-561-6349. Speaking of Congressman Moran, we reached out to him on the situation in Mexico and the new questions about security on both sides of the border. He says combating organized crime remains a top priority.
We got to put a stop to it. This organized crime, no matter if it's out of Eastern Europe or if it's out of
the South and Central American regions, or if it's out of China. It's adverse to the national security interests of the United States. It's adverse to the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness interests of every East Texan, and we've got to stand strong against these bad actors.
Congressman Moran said the #1 priority is ensuring everyone's safety. He stressed that we must do everything possible to protect American citizens and bring them home safely. New this morning, Lizzie McGuire and Revenge of the Nerds actor Robert Carradine has died. Deadline is reporting that the actor died by suicide. In a statement sent to the publication, Carradine's family recounts his 2-decade struggle with bipolar disease. Now, writing, quote, that we hope his journey can shine a light and encourage addressing the stigma that attaches to mental illness. Carradine was 71. And we'd also like to take a moment to remind people that help is available if you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide. You can call or text the number 988. Someone with the Suicide Prevention Hotline will respond. A new development in the case of Nancy Guthrie, the masked person seen on doorbell camera footage, was also at her doorstep on another night, according to a source. The 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie disappeared from her secluded Tucson home after she was last seen on January 31st. Photos and video of the masked person seen on Guthrie's doorstep were released by the FBI on February 10th. The source says those images are from 2 different days, not just February 1st. Parents of 9 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic are suing the Department of Texas State Health Services employees over the July 4th floods. They claim the state licensed the camp despite lacking proper evacuation plans. A spokesperson for DSHS tells us they do not comment on pending litigation. In a letter to the Department of State Health Services, the lieutenant governor says the license should not be issued until the investigation into those deaths is complete and any necessary corrective actions are taken. He says an investigative committee is scheduled to meet this spring. Services to remember the life of the first African-American Justice of the Peace in Smith County begin today. There will be a Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity ceremony for Judge Quincy Beavers at 5 p.m. and a visitation at 6. Both will be at the Stewart Funeral Home. Tomorrow will be Judge Beavers' homegoing service at 1 p.m. at St. James CME Church. All of these ceremonies are open to the public. And if you were watching our shows last week, you may remember Genesis and her pups rescued by the SPCA of East Texas. On the latest update, sadly, 3 more of the 16 puppies passed, but there is some good news. 3 of the puppies took their first bottle feeds, while the rest remain on tube feeding, getting the care they need to survive. The star of an iconic Disney show will be gracing the screen once more to celebrate a huge milestone. We've got that for you coming up. All right, trending this morning, shoppers have gone bananas for an IKEA orangutan plush toy after a baby Japanese monkey went viral. We showed this to you yesterday after adopting one of those as a mother figure. Punch, a 7-month-old baby Japanese macaque, was abandoned by his mother at a zoo. And when an onlooker noticed and alerted zookeepers, they swung into action, offering the stuffed toy as a surrogate. Videos of the dynamic duo, well, they've gone viral, prompting a surge of visitors to the zoo. The toy's popularity has sparked a run on the same orangutan model at IKEA stores, with the plush selling out in multiple countries. I mean, who knew that Punch would have such an effect on all of us?
Who would have thought it?
It was
right?
really, really cute.
It
watching him
was,
carry around the little baby.
Just dragging it around.
I mean, it's like watching your own children when they love on their little favorite toy, you know?
Exactly. No, it was cute. That was a cute video.
It was precious. All right. If you grew up on the Disney Channel back in the 2000s, prepare for some nostalgia. Hannah Montana is officially 20 years old.
Wow.
Well, the show is. To celebrate, a special is airing on Disney Plus March 24th, highlighting the iconic series that defined a generation. The special will feature an in-depth conversation with Miley Cyrus, never before seen archival footage, and some of the iconic sets brought back to life.
Wow.
I mean, I never watched a lot of Hannah Montana kind of after my time, but I did watch a little of it with my daughter, and it was kind of before her time, but she went back and watched it streaming.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was kind of the same deal with me too. You know, a little bit before my time. My sister, you know, she was born a couple years later. So it was just a little bit before our time, but we got into Disney Channel a little bit later in the 2010s.
Yes.
So we remember some of the other ones. Also, 20th anniversary of High School Musical is this year.
Isn't that wild?
That is really something.
It's wild. All right, we got some wild weather for you today. The winds are going to be picking up. Make sure you hang on to your car doors. I feel like that's also one of the things, besides the extreme fire danger, you don't want to dent the person's next to you, their car.
Oh, exactly. I mean, in just any sort of door too. Definitely got to be really careful. The winds are coming out of the south. That's one thing that you could probably take away for today, as for maybe taking precautions over that. But all in all here, it's all about the fire danger, the dry conditions, the winds. They're really going to be starting to pick up into this afternoon, maybe even as early as this morning. So with all those conditions in place, fires, if they do end up starting, can spread very, very quickly. So of course, the best thing to do is to avoid burning altogether. It is so windy, in fact, into this afternoon that we do have a wind advisory in effect for areas like Tyler, Athens, Longview, Gilmer, and areas further to the northwest extending into Dallas. That's going to start at noon today and will go until 6 o'clock. We're expecting wind gusts between 35, maybe up to 40 miles per hour at times. It is a beautiful day as we just take a look at our Tyler cam. The traffic really starting to pick up now on Broadway. It is still very cold, though. We still got some upper 20s on the map, 26 in Nacogdoches, 27 in Center. We got 35 in Tyler right now, 36 in Gilmer, and 33 for both Longview and Henderson. So again, jacket weather this afternoon, shorts weather, that is for sure. 70s will arrive by as early as 2 o'clock, and they'll continue to climb to around 72. And then we get warmer into tomorrow, still holding on to gusty conditions, though. It'll be partly cloudy for a change. So 82 for tomorrow, 80 for Thursday. There's a cold front coming, so that'll give us the chance for a little bit of shower activity. So we'll go over all of that and all the details on the fire danger coming up in your full forecast. We'll be right back.
Before his death, actor Eric Dane became a passionate advocate for awareness and research in his battle with ALS. It is a rare neurological disorder with no cure that gradually weakens muscles and impacts daily functions. Mandy Gaither explains ALS, its warning signs, and why the disease remains so challenging.
It became more internationally known in 1941 by the beloved baseball player for which it was named. But ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, was first identified in 1869 by a French neurologist. And still today, there's no cure.
Quite honestly, we are yet to completely understand how it comes about, what causes it, what are the drivers.
Dr. John Morin with Cleveland Clinic says a small minority of ALS cases are genetic, but often there's no clear cause, making it hard to figure out a way to prevent it or reverse damage and stop disease progression. Red flags include arm weakness, inability to use your hands or legs like you used to, foot slapping or foot dropping, which leads to stumbles and falls and affects gait. It can also begin in your head, neck, or face area with difficulty speaking, controlling saliva, chewing, and swallowing. There could also be breathing issues, shortness of breath when you lie flat, causing you to lean forward to breathe better.
Especially if there's not a lot of pain or sensory symptoms like numbness, tingling, burning, prickling, that should be brought to your doctor's attention.
Morin says since symptoms appear in a sporadic or piecemeal fashion, that can make them easier to dismiss. The CDC says most people with the disease live from 2 to 5 years after those warning signs develop.
Quite often, the diagnosis takes more than a year or so in the United States. So that diagnostic delay also adds a challenge to this disease.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, let's jump into your forecast. Again, we've been talking about fire danger throughout the entire morning, and we do have burn bans that have now been declared, and I wouldn't be too surprised if there's even more here across the area. But for now, we got Cherokee County, Anderson County, down to Trinity County, as well as Van Zant and Marion County under these burn bans until further notice. Again, I wouldn't be too terribly surprised to see more into this afternoon as the conditions remain a little bit more conducive for fires to be able to spread. But even if you are not within a burn ban, do not burn anything altogether. All across the area can expect those wildfire conditions to be overspreading the area. So as we head into this afternoon, again, the winds, they'll really start to crank up. We'll see gusts between 30, maybe up to about 35 miles per hour. And because of the wind into tomorrow, we'll see a little bit more in the way of relative humidity. So it'll kind of decrease our wildfire risk just a little bit, but still will remain pretty dry and also very gusty at about 35 to 40 mile per hour gusts for tomorrow. And even into Thursday, we could have gusts close to 40 miles an hour. Again, this time with a little bit more relative humidity. And then you'll notice right here, the winds, they're going to be out of the north. By the time we get to Thursday evening, that is a cold front that'll come through. So we'll see a little bit of a drop in temperatures for the second half of this week. For today, got some reds in there. We got some pretty decent wildfire conditions for this afternoon and into tomorrow. We got some reds in there as well. It will not be quite as bad into tomorrow just because the relative humidity is going to kick up just a little bit, but it really won't make much of a difference. I definitely don't recommend you burning anything either way. 60s for this afternoon. It will be very mild, and that'll carry into the next few days after that. Temperatures really won't go anywhere for tomorrow morning. 50s to start, and then low 80s for Wednesday afternoon. It's going to be very warm, and then 60s to start your Thursday. Could have a couple of showers ahead of this cold front, mainly in our eastern counties. But otherwise, most everybody will be staying dry and very mild. And then for the rest of the weekend, looking fantastic. The winds will finally let up by this weekend, and temperatures will be exceptionally mild in the low 80s.
I just can't wait for that. That
I
looks
know.
Awesome.
Got any weekend plans? Go for it.
I don't, but let's add some. All right, the green things. It seems like maybe kids didn't like when they were younger, like, I don't know, broccoli, Brussels, lettuce, maybe mushrooms. You know, kids are picky eaters sometimes, but that changes when we get older. So this morning we wanted to know what food that you just hated as a kid, but now you love.
Man.
I think I said all mine. I was trying to wrap my brain.
Too, yeah.
There are some I still don't love, and I've decided it's a texture thing for me. A lot of the foods I don't like, it really isn't a flavor thing. It's mushy. I don't like mushy things.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I feel like seafood is a little bit like that, just depending on what it is. And that might be kind of why I'm not really a huge fan of it on top of the taste. I've never really been a huge fan of seafood.
Let's see what the people are saying this morning. Oh, I clicked off of it, of course. Here we go. Raphael says tea. He didn't like tea, but now he does. Brussels sprouts. Beth's going with cottage cheese. Celia says okra. Yet I tried pickled okra in a jar as an older adult. I saw it at a popular restaurant a few years ago, and it's so good. I have always loved okra.
Yeah,
which is weird for a kid, I think.
Honestly, I didn't try okra until later in life.
Yeah,
but it's good.
Do you like pickled okra?
Yeah, pickled okra is pretty good.
So
yes,
yummy.
And fried pickles, those are actually pretty good.
I love all of the above. Albert says cabbage. Okay, I will eat cabbage, but I'm not like hugely in love with it.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, let's make some cabbage tonight.
Right.
You know?
Not a full-on meal, right?
Mandy's going steak, but I've always loved steak.
Oh, me too.
Sign me up.
It's no mistake.
It is no mistake how much we love steak.
That's right.
All right, we're about to step away for a moment while we break in to our over-the-air broadcast with a news update. We'll be right back. Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for being with us for this morning news update. A disturbing case involving an adult man wearing a diaper is moving forward in Smith County. 47-year-old Wesley Worrell appeared before a judge yesterday. He is charged with solicitation to commit indecency with a child by sexual contact. Investigators say last August, two girls were riding bikes near Andy Woods Elementary when Worrell allegedly got out of a vehicle wearing only a diaper and asked them to change it. The girls ran and were helped by a nearby family. In court, a pretrial hearing was set for March 16th, and prosecutors say a plea offer has been made, but no agreement has been reached. Election Day is a week away now, and the push toward the March 3rd primary is intensifying. Candidates are crisscrossing Texas to lock in support as early voting continues. Democratic U.S. Senate candidate James Tallarico is bringing his Take Back Texas tour to Tyler today. Tallarico is facing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in the Democratic primary, a race that's gaining attention statewide as both candidates ramp up campaign stops, messaging, and voter outreach efforts. Today's rally is set for 6 p.m. at Eagles Event Center on Old Henderson Highway as the fight for that party's nomination heads into the final stretch. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott made a stop in Athens yesterday for a Get Out the Vote rally. The event at Tia Juanita's Fish Camp drew supporters and local leaders, including State Representative Cody Harris, all urging East Texans to head to the polls. Along with turnout, both men touched on key issues, including property tax relief, border security, education policy, and protecting East Texas groundwater. But they say the main focus was on your ballots.
Remember, speeches don't win elections. Campaign ads don't win elections. Votes win elections. We're going to have people go out and vote.
Really, the whole point of today is just to get people excited, to help them understand what we're asking them to get out to the polls and vote for.
Abbott will also make a stop in Longview tomorrow. Early voting runs through the end of the week with primary election day set for March the 3rd. Let's get a check of your weather now with these windy conditions we've got out there.
Yeah, it is both dry and very windy. It will get much windier into the afternoon. So as a result, we have a very high risk for fire danger all across our viewing area. Wind gusts approaching 35 to 40 miles an hour, combined with the dry conditions across the ground. That's going to make things very conducive for fires to be able to spread. So again, do not burn anything through today and even into the next few days. Very mild though. Temperatures in the middle to upper 60s. We'll see some 70s on the board as well. Plenty of sunshine overhead, then 50s to begin your day on Wednesday. And watch your high temperatures Wednesday afternoon in the low 80s, way above average for this time of year. And then 60s to begin your Thursday. A cold front will sweep through. We'll have a couple of showers in some of our eastern counties, but most everybody will remain dry and very mild. Winds will let up as we head into the weekend. Should be beautiful for outdoor plans. Low 80s.
Check this out before we go. Drivers in upstate New York had an unusual slowdown amid the snow when 3 cows got loose on an interstate. They escaped from a disabled livestock trailer backing up traffic as troopers worked to round them up. 2 were caught pretty quickly, but 1 just kept running through lanes before finally being wrangled. He didn't want to be wrangled. Here's the good news. No injuries or crashes were reported in all this, but he thought he was at the rodeo.
I guess so. He didn't know where he was at.
I know.
I saw the white stuff on the ground. I was like, what is going on?
Get me out of here, right?
Right. Wow.
Well, you might want to stay inside today because the wind is going to be wild out there and not safe.
Yeah. See, hold on to your hats if you have to get out. That's my word of advice for you. Let's take one more look outside. Just real quick, we got some beautiful clear skies. Definitely cold though. It is in the upper 20s to low 30s all across the area. Looks like we have officially broken out of the upper 20s, except for center. You're still at 29 degrees. Most of us are creeping into the 30s and 40s. Still, no matter how you slice it, it is cold out there. Definitely bundle up on your way out. We'll be up to 72 today and then 82 for tomorrow. Those winds will still hold steady into tomorrow as well. So definitely wouldn't be surprised to see some additional fire danger for tomorrow and even Thursday. And then the winds, they'll finally taper off by the weekend. We'll have lots of sunshine. We got a little cold front coming down, which will drop our temperatures into the 70s. It's not much of a cold front. We'll be back to the 80s in no time. It's going to be very beautiful for outdoor plans for the weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Something to look forward to for sure. Look at that.
I don't have any plans yet, but I'm going to make some.
Let's do it. Sounds good.
All right.
It's like spring break almost. We're getting close.
Exactly.
All right, thanks for continuing your day with us here on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. Catch the noon show also coming up here, and keep it here for the latest news, weather, and sports throughout the day. We'll see you back here tomorrow and dark and early on Wednesday.